Hi, this is Pastor Natalie. I want to share some things with you guys today, some things that are of the utmost importance. And if parents with conservative values, moral values, biblically based values, even reasonable values, where we're living in a society where up is down, down is up, black is white, white is black, good is evil, and evil is good. Listen. If you don't start to involve yourself in parent school teacher meetings, if you don't start to involve yourself in the town hall meetings, I'm telling you, it's not about losing your freedom of speech. It's not just that. Do you understand? It's about losing rights and privileges over your own children. I'm going to read to you. I live in the state of Nevada. I'm going to read to you. I went to a meeting today. We have a proposition or something that's going to be proposed called Question One Era. Question One Era. So this is a liberal agenda on the government, I should say, those in the liberal field making literal decisions over your kids. And these decisions are life-changing. These decisions could be horrific problems and challenges in your family. Okay, you need to listen, and I'm telling you, there's no more. You can't just stay in the background. You can't hope this doesn't happen to you. Laws are going to change if people do not speak up, vote, get out, talk about what you do not approve of regarding our families. Right before your eyes. This is not some kind of this is not some kind of party philosophy or scheme, so the Republicans can win or the whoever. No, this is about good and evil. This is about right and wrong. This is about bringing eliminating what Satan is trying to do with bringing total confusion to society. Okay, so here's just one of the things on the agenda. You need to find out the people that you're supporting, what they stand for. Okay, stop just voting, making party votes, and try to see to it, pray before you go vote, and make sure that God knows that. Approach God, get counsel. Because right now, this is so crucial. It's so crucial. If everybody just keeps pretending, if I don't make waves, nobody will bother me, or if I don't say anything, it's not happening to me and my kid. Oh yeah, it's happening to it's going to happen and affect and impact all families here in America. We've already got a lot of things that are impacting us in a negative way. Inflation, with gas prices and food prices and the supply ship shortage, so many things that are on the table. You just need to tune in to more than one news media. Okay, search your news medias. Don't just listen to just one. Search them. Okay, so let me get on with this, because this is going to be this is my primary concern today about this. So I'm going to be voting. I don't know if I can say that. Anyway, I know how I'm going to vote on this matter, on this proposition that they're trying to bring across. It's going to be on the ballot in November, this November. So you need to read carefully. Don't wait until voting day to read what propositions are and, modifications to amendments, especially with education. Don't wait till then, okay? Search it out now. All right, so this is the language that they're using. Language is always used very deceptively and deceitfully and tricky, okay? So this is the language. It's going to look like it is something that is fair and just to all, but it's not. So here's the language on this proposed amendment. It's going to say this: equality of rights, and this is for Nevada. I don't know if the wording has changed in other states, but look for it and be very mindful, be very engage yourself in educating yourself on exactly the kind of language used so you'll know how you're voting, because that's usually the case. When parties want amendments and things passed, they word it in such a way it looks like you're voting for the right thing, and then they'll slip in there something that is unethical, immoral, and totally against what you thought you were voting for. All right? So here's what the proposed amendment is going to say. It's going to say equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by this state, for me, it's the state of Nevada, or any of its political subdivisions on the count of race, color, creed, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. Okay, you need to understand expression. That means today I'm a girl, tomorrow I feel like a guy. And if I'm a guy and then I feel like a girl today, I'm going to walk up in the ladies' restroom, in the girls' restroom at schools. Remember, this is going to affect your children, okay? Disability, ancestry, or national origin. I'm going to read that again. This is a proposed amendment that they want to try and pass in the upcoming election in November. Equality of rights. Doesn't that sound fair? Just that sounds right. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by this state or any of its political subdivisions on account of race, color, creed, sex, sexual orientation, gender, identity, or expression, age, disability, ancestry, or national origin. Let me tell you what this means. Okay, here is the political language, I should say defined, to tell you what it means in plain language, because I need plain language. I don't know about you. It will allow males to compete in female sports and for scholarships that are for women and girls. It also, please listen to this, it will allow minor children to receive puberty blockers or gender change surgery without parental consent or knowledge. Yeah, they're your kids, but the state won't need permission. Here's what you need to know. This is what the Lord told me. They've already been indoctrinating. They've been indoctrinating for some years, right under our noses, many of us parents, and we did not know. So there's been much indoctrination. So after they've indoctrinated, now you move upon the action behind it. So you indoctrinate the children so that they're confused as heck. Children that are thinking they're saying they're non-binary. Can you believe, you guys? It's not cute. There are children that are saying, I'm neither a girl nor a boy. I'm a male. I'm neither male nor female. So you've got boys saying, I'm not a male, even though he has male organs and male chemistry in his body, male muscles, all that stuff. You know, if you really were to open your eyes, it's not a religious matter. It is an attack on the Creator, the God who created us, who made us two different sexes, male and female. So think about it. Everything is an argument against what God already naturally created in the earth. You see, this is way beyond us thinking we're voting for some kind of political change, or we're protecting our rights. Like the abortion movement, the pro-choice never says anything about the choice of the baby. So the baby has no choice. The baby dies in the womb, gets killed in the womb, mutilated in the womb. Anyway, I'm not going to go into a lot of that right now because, but apparently the Holy Spirit wants me to say that. Okay, so that's just a reminder. When you're talking about pro-choice, there's really nothing pro about it because somebody got to die. You hear me? Somebody's going to die. Somebody is going to die with pro-choice. Remember when you could only do abortions up to 6 weeks years ago? You know what the Holy Spirit wants us. Remember when you could only do abortions up to 6 weeks, and then it went from kind of 6 weeks to 2 months, 8 weeks, and then from 8 weeks to 3 months, and then 3 months to 6 months. And remember, we were just, we were so astonished that it had gone where you could get an abortion up to 6 months. So now you can get an abortion up to 9 months. How many of you are parents out there and have had children? So you know what they look like in the 6th month and in the 9th month. If you've had a premature baby in the 6th month, the baby has a few things that are not fully developed, but it's a full-grown baby. So imagine now you can kill babies You can have abortions up to the 9th month, the day before the baby is born, and in some states, up to 28 days afterward. What do you think they're doing? What do you think's happening with the bodies of these babies? You know, if God were to treat us grown adults the way that we treat the babies, the new coming human beings coming into the world, oh, there would be a cry that would be it would be heard around the world. The world would be crying. If God were to just decide, I'm going to abort this one, abort this one, abort this one for different reasons. They're not producing, or they're not doing what I sent them here to do, or whatever reasons that the Almighty chose. Do you know how horrible that would be for us? We are already living, breathing human beings, so the baby in the womb is the same. But you got body parts being pulled apart. You've got mutilation. You've got the head pulled out where they, some abortions, they call them partial birth abortions, where hideous things are done to the body, and as long as the head is out, this is the reasoning. So as long as the head is out and not the rest of the body, not the shoulders, then it's okay to mutilate and kill the rest of the body, because it's not a full. Do you understand how absolutely absurd that is? Anyway, oh, if you guys think it's going to stop there, you're sadly mistaken. Do you really think it's going to stop? The laws are going to have some kind of moral conviction about where they are right now? No. I never thought I would see the day where you could actually abort babies after they're born. What do you think about that? They're doing experiments that so-called promote life in the scientific medical world. But how absurd is that? So you take the life of a baby, kill it, brutally kill it, murder it in the womb. And we're talking about, babies that are full grown. They can live even if they're born. So we kill that one human being to promote and prolong life in another human being. You tell me where that makes sense, okay? God is going to hold us accountable. So some of you out there that are screaming pro-choice, yeah, God has a choice too. He has a choice about how long we can be here in the earth. And when we leave, really only our family cares the most. Our family cares the most. And we're just another human being that leaves the earth. And that's how we're treating the babies, like they're not important. Oh, the Lord, I did not mean to talk about this today, but the Holy Spirit wants it. So I obeyed. I'm going to obey. Let's get back to this propositional amendment that they want to propose. So I left off with, it allows minor children to receive puberty blockers. It allows minor children to receive puberty blockers, gender change surgery without parental permission or consent. Okay, parental knowledge or consent. It forces taxpayers who do not believe in abortion to pay for abortions, okay? It threatens religious liberty. So in other words, the government's saying we're going to cut funding to all faith-based organizations with traditional views on marriage and gender. So I won't have a right to believe the 3 sons that I gave birth to. I can't say, or I won't have a right to declare, these are my sons, they were born men, and this is what they're going to be. This is what they've decided to be throughout their life. They decided to accept the gender that they were assigned by the living God. That language is it's so ridiculous to me. You were assigned this at birth. You don't hear the hatred for God in that? How come you don't hear the hatred? Who assigned us genders at birth? God did. So that's man rebelling that God assigned him to be a male or female, and he doesn't have to be that. This whole extreme liberal movement is about rebellion against God. I bet you guys thought it was about hating Trump or hating Biden or hating the Democrats or hating the Republicans. No, Satan has a much more diabolical plan than that. The whole world is resetting. And how in the world did we start off with a virus that went viral, that went global, and end up with changing gender laws, sexual identity laws, very bold and aggressive with teaching sexual indoctrination to 5 and 6 year olds, drag queens going before 5 and 6 year olds, being a superhero or a mentor. How did we get, and that's been happening for years, but it was limited or restricted. So they want to pass laws so that you parents can't say, well, no, I don't want my child exposed to that. Wait till my child is 18 years old and can make up their own mind about the route that they choose to live. No, do you? How come you don't understand indoctrination? That's why it was so important to indoctrinate on a kindergarten level, on an elementary level. We all know, I've said this for years, I'm saying it for a long time. Most of you who are parents, as we have so much access to knowledge, age 1 through 5 are the primary years of a child's developmental thinking. So that's why the educational system and the government do not want us to have the influence over our children and influence in how they think. Don't you know they have laws in place where CPS in certain states and places can pick up your children? If little Johnny comes home and says, Mom, I don't think I'm going to be a boy anymore. I want to be a girl, because he's been indoctrinated at school with all these confusing things. There are children, I've read reports, I've heard reports of children, small children coming home crying to their parents, thinking they're going to turn into the opposite sex. The children are distressed. These are true stories. Okay? Wake up. Wake up. Stop. You better wake up and speak up for yourself and your children. What about the children? Everybody thinks that something is going to be, that their children are going to be exempt, like you're going to protect them somehow. All these things are being mandated for public schools. So that's why school choice is important. The money following the child, these kind of options. Anyway, so I'm not done with the things that this proposed amendment will do. It also is going to require schools, colleges, and other government-owned facilities to allow males in women's bathroom. Yeah, we've heard rumors, we've heard tale of the, well, it's going to be now where it's across the board. Do you understand? You understand where that's going? Okay. So we'll require schools, colleges, and other government-owned facilities to allow males in women's bathrooms, showers, locker rooms, risking the safety and privacy of women and girls. And here's the last one. Here's the last thing I'm going to share with you on this proposed amendment and the new things that it's going to allow. And I remember, I think it was last year. No, it was before that. God told me where they're trying to get to is to lower the age of consensual sex. See, that's what part of all this indoctrinating is about. So if we say little Johnny at 12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old decides, he wants to be a girl, and he's, can do this without any counsel from his parents, without anything, without any counsel from a parental associated organizations like a church or anything like that. They want to shut the mouth of any peoples that believe in the Bible, that believe in traditional, natural anatomy. We will have no more rights. Women will be erased. There is no kurbaha. Listen to the language, people, and please stop thinking this is not going to affect you. They want it so that I can no longer be called a woman. All of you beautiful women out there that were born with this beautiful anatomy that God gave you. We're not talking about being a 10 on the scale of women, just talking about the way God made our bodies so that we could produce children and so that we could feed our children with, the milk that comes from our bosom. So many things, the emotions that women have, the insight, the way we think a little differently than men, or differently than men. Anyway, so all the things, all of the attributes and the fact that have to do with women, that is going to be erased. You need to understand, it will be erased. We will be as just beings or people. Do you not see the signature of Satan in this? You don't see it? He hates everything that God made. He wants to undo, unravel, and rewire. He wants to undo everything that God did. And he wants to make it his creation of destruction. The Bible says that he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He wants to destroy order. He wants to destroy it. Y'all better wake up and stop acting like it's not going to knock at your door. If we don't speak up now, if we don't pray, we need to be praying, prayer vigils. We need to be coming together. It's not just, okay, if the Republicans get in office, we got it made. No, they're going to keep fighting. This battle is a spiritual battle. Haven't you heard the president, the alleged professed president, saying we're battling for the soul of the nation? You understand that? Battling for the soul of the nation. Yeah, our souls are in jeopardy of inhabiting complete darkness, because that's what we're doing. Everything that God set in order, they're turning it. They want to turn it upside down. They want to darken. I remember the one who sits in the White House now saying, I think it was last year, that we are to look for I think it was last year, look for, it's going to be a dark winter. Look at the things that are happening. You know what? Let me just stop on that. So here's the thing that the Lord spoke to me quite some time ago. And this is my first time seeing it in print. Because when I started, when we just asked, Lord, what is this? Why is all this evil, this despicable stuff? How is this being legalized? How is all this stuff happening? One of the things, my major concerns, is the area of the children. That's really my major concern. Not only, but it's at the top, at the very top. The number one is the children. Because children are going to grow up to be adults, which means there will be a generation of adults that have been influenced by the promotions that we see right now. So if you think the world's going to look anything like it does right now, where the masses of people are not for all this madness, you are wrong. It's going to be very different. This is the other thing it will do. This is the last thing they have written here. Those that are very concerned about where the country is going ethically, morally, conservatively, figuratively. It could threaten parental rights and the age of consent laws, putting children at risk of predators. So we're talking pedophiles having rights. Do you understand that? People that have a desire, people that have an appetite for children, sex with children, pedophile behavior. I remember when the Lord first spoke that. Anyway, that's not important. And for many of you guys, you could care less. I'm just telling you, it's always going to be what God says it's going to be, because he sees the future and he knows our future. So when they lower the age of consent, that means a full-grown adult, a 30-year-old man, if they lower it from, I think it's 18 now, I guarantee you they're probably going to start with 16, and then who knows, maybe it'll go down to 14. So who knows if some 35, 40-year-old man could be knocking at the door for your 14-year-old son. Wake up, people, and stop, get your head out the sand, and stop thinking that this is not going to impact you. We are all here. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. So anyway, I'm going to stop there. So I know how I'm going to be voting on this proposed Amendment 1 with the so-called equality of rights under the law that won't be denied to even those with gender expression. Remember what I said. So one day a man can decide he's a man that day and a woman the next day. He can walk in any bathroom. So that means you can have a rapist, you can have a serial killer, whomever, walking in. He'll be able to walk in the bathroom with women, with girls. So, you go to Walmart, your 10 or 12-year-old goes to the bathroom. You figure she's big enough. She's 12 years old, 13 years old. It could be a grown man in there, 35, 40-year-old pedophile or kidnapper, whatever. So wake up. Wake up. Am I trying to scare you? No. I'm trying to get you to wake up. and see what's in front of us. Anyway, I'm going to stop because I was so angry when I saw this today. I went to a meeting so I can know what's happening. So you parents need to wake up, start going to town hall meetings and school board meetings, wherever we're allowed to go. Remember, do you guys remember what they tried to do with parents that were speaking out against the critical race theory and against all this gender ideology? And if the parents were to speak out against it, they started calling parents that are concerned about their own children and about the indoctrination and the things that we're teaching, domestic terrorists. Domestic terrorists. Speaking of terrorists, we got terrorists that are already in the country. They can come over the border because nobody's really checked. You can tell them whatever name you want. These people, you know, many of them, they don't show back up to court. So that's a whole nother subject. Okay, because there are a lot of people that believe that there are racist activity going on because when people say we need to secure our borders. What is wrong? Every country does that. Anyway, that's another subject, and I didn't get on to talk about that today. I'm begging you to wake up and stop thinking that these laws that are trying to be passed are not going to affect you and your beautiful grandchildren who you think are adorable. Those of you with beautiful little girls, 2, 3, 4 years old. How would you like for somebody to come and decide after they've indoctrinated them that your daughter that they've been indoctrinating for, the first year of pre-K and kindergarten thinks that they want to be a boy? My God, what happened? Remember back in the day when it was safe to be a tomboy? You know, many girls were tomboys, and then you just grew out of it. Well, now you can't even afford to do that. So if you have a daughter that's exhibiting any kind of tomboyish characteristics, all of a sudden you're going to have educators trying to convince her through the education and the indoctrination that she was born in a girl's body, but she's really a boy, and you better not say anything about it. That's how it's going to go if we let it. If good men sit by, stand by, and do nothing and say nothing, evil will have its way. That's the law. That's the spiritual law. That's how it goes. All right. After all that, I'm going to say God bless you. God keep you. God make his face to shine upon you, give you peace, and may God be gracious unto you. May God wake you up to understand the evil that is before you, right before your eyes wide open. It is right there. Okay? Wake up, people. Did this go off?